Competition is a part of life, and as a man, you're constantly going to be competing, whether it's in sports, maybe for that big promotion at work, maybe even for that beautiful woman. And knowing what it takes to win can have a profound effect on your life. We got some tips for you to show you how to set yourself apart from the pack. I'm Skip Bedell, and this is the Men's Manual. All the things your father should have taught you. We've all heard the saying, you win some and you lose some. But I think we can all agree it feels a lot better to win. In this episode, we're going to show you what it takes to have a winner's mindset. I'm here in Las Vegas at the Pro Football Arm Wrestling Championships, where dozens of NFL players are competing in a 4-day tournament to see who comes out on top. But NFL players aren't the only athletes who are here. In this special multi-part series, we'll talk to athletes from various sports, beginning with UFC Superstar Paige Vanzant to find out what separates the winner from second place. But first, our girl Stephanie Haney went to the experts to find out how having a winning mentality could actually change your biology.
That's right, I have Dr. Daniel Chu on the line, who is an expert in neurobehavioral science with the NRC Research Institute in Orange, California. Daniel, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
So we have a couple questions for you just about the biology of winning. Is it true that winning can affect your biology?
Yes, there's an interesting behavioral phenomenon, biological behavioral phenomenon, called the winner effect. If a team wins a contest or a game, the testosterone and dopamine levels in the brain actually dramatically increase. In the short run, what that means, the testosterone makes you more aggressive, and the increase in dopamine will actually enable you to focus better. So if you play again right away, you will play harder and you will play better.
So if you are losing, what should you do to sort of tweak things so you can get out of that losing streak?
So what I've told people is that, especially the people who fail or lose, is not to feel bad, but to embrace failure. Learn from your mistakes, regroup, do something different, but never give up.
So basically what you're saying is if you're losing, you need to change it up.
Many people, when they lose, they're ashamed of their failure and don't want to think about it. But that's the problem. You need to embrace your failure and learn from your mistakes.
All right, well, there you have it. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Chu. We appreciate the expert insight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to send it back to Skip and the team in Vegas at the MGM.
So Paige Vanzant, superstar UFC fighter, thank you so much for being here and just kind of, fill in and give us some cool tips for people coming up. You know, the whole theme of this thing is kind of like how to have a winner's mindset, So being someone who's a winner, who's achieved great success in the fight game, can you give us some tips, maybe some things that made it help you to get to where you are?
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing is you have to love what you do. You have to absolutely love it. And for me, in the fight world, we don't necessarily have seasons. So it's finding the time to actually give yourself a mental break and step away and miss fighting, and then you come back and you fall in love with it all over again. So giving yourself little breaks, and then accepting sacrifices. Definitely in this sport, I've had to make a lot of sacrifices, especially being so young. I moved away from my family at 18 to pursue this, so just sacrifice for what you love.
So you're like, what, 20? I know you're not supposed to never ask a woman her age, but
It's okay, I'm 23 now. Yeah.
Wow, God bless you. Okay, so I could pretty much be your dad then, which is really scary, all right? For like the young ladies up there coming up, maybe not even to get into the fight game, but just to try to find their niche in life and find success and things, from a female perspective, can you give me anything different from that side?
I think for me, it's just not listening to stereotypes, because I definitely don't fit the fighter stereotype.
No, not at all. In fact, when I look at you right now, I'm almost like, how is anyone punching you in the face? It's not even right. It's not right.
I try not to.
It's not right.
Try not to. But no, I think it's definitely just don't let other people tell you you can't do something.
Tell me, like at a high point of your career, like one point where you said, there's something that I need to do to make the difference, going to push me over the top. Is there anything like your training, or when you hit that point, can you say any one thing you did leading up to that got you to win?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is what really defined my career is leaving my home gym and making that nervous step to leave my hometown and move to Team Alpha Male in Sacramento, where it was time for me to move on. And then once I moved to Team Alpha Male, my career took off. I then signed with the UFC and have had a very successful UFC career. So it's Just stepping out of your comfort zone.
I was just going to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. Stepping
Yep.
out of your comfort zone. And that you can really look at that across the board for anything in life, right?
Yeah.
It's like, we all get so comfortable in things and you can't reach that level of success sometimes until you break that mold.
Exactly.
And it's hard to do it first, right? It's like,
Yeah.
but you got to kind of dive into the pool, all the way 100%.
Exactly, yeah, especially deciding like, oh, I'm gonna go join Team Alpha Male. Like,
Right.
going into the gym the first day, I was
Right.
a little nervous.
Right.
But
There's
I
a lot of
definitely
other
made it
girls
home.
on the Team Alpha Male
There
now
is
coming
now,
up, right?
Yeah, now there's definitely a lot of girls coming up in the sport, so it's really exciting.
At the lowest point, maybe can you remember like the biggest defeat that you ever had that you said, I'm going to take something away from this, like learning something like from a time that was maybe not so good, right?
Yes, I actually had a 5-round war against Rose Namajunas where I got cut open and there was blood everywhere. And it was actually in the fight I decided I'm not going to give up, and ended up I was put in very, very deep submissions throughout the whole fight, and it's just like a mental thing. You have to choose not to give up. And through that, I was defeated, and then a lot of it is I have a great family behind my back as well. So I was crying in bed, and they're like, listen, you lost, get over it, get out of bed, and get better.
Right.
So it's really just like not letting those setbacks set you back.
Especially being put in a submission, there is a point there to where, especially when you're about to go out, there's a point to where you got to suck down, you got to grab something that you didn't even know you had to keep from,
doing the tap,
to keep from giving up. And every part of you is saying, I want to give up, right? But you can't.
Yeah, it's your whole body tells you like you need to quit, and then you have to not listen to it. So it's a whole nother level that you have to reach.
And one last closing tip you can give all the young people coming up, guys, girls, anybody. What's one thing you can say that's going to help them get to the top?
One thing, oh gosh, I would say just do what you want to do, and don't let anybody else tell you you can't. That's it.
Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
It's great talking with you. Good luck with
Thanks.
everything. Thanks for joining us here on the Men's Manual. Tune in next time for part 2 of how to have a winning mindset with MMA legend Tito Ortiz. We'll see you next time.
Subscribe for more tips from the Men's Manual.